on the tour over the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, AJ, a lot more limited time on tour, but has shown us a ton. You know, you kind of seem like maybe there's some players on a certain level that...
You know how the Mickey Krause match finished? We did even better by showing it to you there, and he is now through. So it was the opportunity of a lifetime for those guys, and some responded to it better than others. Chance for someone to come through and win it, but there must be guys looking at the draw and thinking, okay, these are all good players, but there's nobody really today and into tomorrow. How do they respond to having a big opportunity to really go deep in one of these events, an opportunity that they might not normally have?
Anyways, got a lot of power though. Good touch. You know, and you look at, do we have any?
Well, Labutus as well was the other one, so very good point.
Yeah, and you know, Makinen, right, he was kind of, see how they respond.
HOANG hasn't been to a big semi-final yet, but he's been in some big quarter-finals. In fact, he's 16th spot. And he's off to a decent start in that quest. AJ MANAS scratched off the break.
Elevating the queue, I think he's one of the best out there. Really doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses when it comes to offensive to the bottom. So like always, at any level, but especially the pro level, very difficult to push out. Ball here. If he just rolls out on the rail, I think he gets this back. Needs the cue ball off the cushion. And he didn't leave it much off the cushion, so.
I think if there are a few players you can point to and say they're going to go much higher than that over the years, he is certainly at the front of the queue.
Surprised he's taking this. Now, he had more faith in hitting it, you would think anyways. May run the cue ball back where he's at now. Nice, hit it super thin. So AJ's going to have a combination to get started. Got to predict where the... awkward players, and some we know are going to be superstars, maybe not at that status just yet. And you kind of wonder when's the time to bring them out with the big boys, really, you know. And like, what's the kid's name from Germany that's so good? Vogels, right? He's under his belt, not only as a young man but as a favorite in a lot of matches also, so which is a different kind of feeling than an underdog. We've seen that before with many players where they play, but this AJ MANAS, he's definitely ready to be out here with the big boys, I think.
Yeah, and in any sport, you're always looking for new stars, pinpoint them. You're not just looking at their ability to play, it's everything else about them, the way they play, the style, and a little bit of unpredictability goes a long way, and I think MANAS has got the full package in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely, and, you know, didn't get to talk to him a ton there at the PLP, but seems like a genuinely sharp young man, and a really good young man.
And certainly a very good player. And he's levelled in the early stages of this match at 1-all. Yeah, it's the second Matchroom event in a row they've actually played each other, because they met in the Premier League. MANAS didn't get many roll.
And he's picked up the speed since the PLP also, and looking for a pocket on 2. Looks like he's got a little angle here, maybe has to play a light one to hold for the pink 4. Well, he's got the corner also, never mind, the 8's not in the way, so this is a more comfortable way to play the ball. Another gorgeous day here in Telford. Just really awesome weather, and I would never say we hear complaints about the tape. Sometimes it's just comments, oh man, they're playing super tough, or, you know, maybe a hair bouncy because of this or that, but no complaints this week with the weather so perfect. And, you know, we play indoors, but I don't know, I just think it keeps the players in a better mood. Everyone feels better about things when the weather's so nice. Now, this shot got awfully odd from nowhere. This left side spin. The 9's a big ball as far as getting shape on that black 8. Yeah, I thought it was missable. He tried to attack with outside, and I don't think that was a big option, really.
to retake the lead here. He has lost a match already this week. DUONG was beaten in these World Cup player and had a real battle earlier today against Dean Shields from Manchester, who of course beat him in his home country at the Hanoi Open back in October, 10-8. And it was the other way around this time. DUONG coming through 10-8, and here he is.
Try and hold it, you know, fully, and just take your chances leaving something long. And a nice shot. Get some runs early in his career here on tour, and talked about yesterday, got a little quiet for maybe a year or so, but I think he's back and he's better. And a great shot there with the jump cue. And what I was talking about earlier, there's Scottish Open last year, that was an incredible field just like it was this year, and DUONG took that down. And that kind of field are the type of players you got to beat once you get to one of those smaller ranking events, even though a tough field compared to one of these majors.
Yeah, he was back in Glasgow last week to defend that Scottish Open title. And then beaten by Riku Rompainen in losers qualification. But that's not quite as early an exit as it would be in one of these events, because it was only a 16-man single elimination phase. He's also been a semi-finalist recently.
All right, he's going to draw the ball here. Should extend his lead. Was in a real battle in his last round. He was in a few battles to survive, from what I remember, on the one-loss side of the early rounds of this event. So he's just become a real lot of talent.
Record against top players, but again, here he is struggling against someone who you might have made him favourite against, Imran Majid. Off to a very good start.
Yeah, that's didn't like the way those opened. Kind of wonder if the rack was fully intact.
Two dry ones in a row for DQH. In the last 64.
All of us can take from this young man is, you know what I mean? Like when you get in a big moment, you can start to stress about all shots. And when you don't allow that to happen when you're here, so it doesn't get so high and intense between the ears, which definitely affects the back arm.
Yeah, and he's got that youthful sense of not really having any major battle scars in his past, and yeah, it's reflected in his manner around the table and the way he plays. And well, that's managed to stay up, so this should be a very quick rack. DUONG not getting away with the dry break this time. AJ MANAS close.
Yeah, this table's been awfully stingy on the one. Not so much with the cue ball, it seems, and now ball in hand for a smart player. But I always felt like Comino had, of course, being younger and whatnot and still trying to figure things out. I always felt like he had a little bigger upside than between the ears, but I also like that player that doesn't mind showing how upset they are about a loss and whatnot. Even we've seen Comino show those emotions before, and I don't think that's a bad thing.
Being known as Suto now.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a different thing with names in Spain. It's something to do with if the names of both of the families that you've come from, both your parents.
Yeah, a bunch of youngsters playing in this round, of course. Game's getting younger, it seems like every sport.
You know, both of these guys in different ways make it look really easy, don't they? MANAS just glides around the table, and DUONG sort of ambles around the place a little bit, almost like he's not really even thinking about what he's doing. Make the game look A good deal easier than we know it certainly is. And this has been a good start from DUONG HOANG. Scratch break from MANAS again. And he's exploited it just as much as he did in the opening rack, and so...
Sam Anderson, good shout out to him making that final 64. Constantly building on that game. I know he didn't have the match he wanted, because you see a combination of really good fundamentals and a lot of talent between DUONG and MANAS. I don't know if there's been a safety played in this match yet.
He's beaten Braben by 10 racks to 6. Very interesting clash with the tournament favourite Joshua Filler.
Yeah, and hats off to Tyler. A lot of people, that's going to do him well, trying to overtake a guy that doesn't seem like there's a mistake in him at the moment, Joshua Filler, but we'll see how it unfolds.
Steyer's one of those guys who, if he was playing team sports, he'd be a fan favourite, because you know he's always...
Yeah, and he's, you know, in a team sport, especially a pro sport, there's players that always get questioned, oh, why are they starting, why are they play with, understand that role that they play, and they bring every time, and Tyler's kind of one of those, and that's why to me, and unless someone shows otherwise, he's a hard guy not to pick for that Mosconi Cup team. Boy, he got odd here. Can he get enough on it to move the cue ball out? Oh, sweet stroke. Elevated over the 9. That one will make you...
Looking for 10 racks to get through in very impressive fashion. And with his first break and run, indeed the first break and run from either player.
Career left. The young guys make it easy to overlook.
Yeah, it went so close.
I can imagine anything offensive. Should just cross this over, try to run the cue ball behind the pink. Double kissed it, may fluke it. Kind of lost the mark on the shot itself. Miscue, it sounded like. May have a direct look. And he's so good when he elevates the cue. It's amazing, really. Real soft sachet around the table, but I'll tell you one thing he does better than most is he's MANAS. It's got to be that way, just because I kind of feel like MANAS has the mentality, I don't care what the score is.
He's one of the stars of that Reyes Cup week in Manila back in October. He won both of his doubles and one of his singles. He actually had a chance to clinch the cup for Asia 11, but he lost a show as well and fell to MVP Aloysius Yap to clinch it in the next match against FSR.
I feel like Team Asia kind of corralling around this man at the table right now had a big part on them coming together as a team. Camaraderie they showed for this man here really helped that team to an easy win.
Yeah, they were 4-0 up.
On his last. Nice. I think figured out the speed a little better, and he's going to get a look at the blue too. And
Most went further. He was only beaten Hill by Mark Boisterbosch.
Yeah, it seemed like every match that week at the Spanish Open was Hill.
Call that venue was so hot. Wanted to punish us by keeping us in there as long as possible. But it was a great tournament, won by Dang Jinhu. Double.
Yeah, I tell you, those events. And Lugo was a beautiful city. I mean, just it was easy to stay there anyways. But sometimes you have back-to-back events. This angle shows us he's got even more going towards the 7. That's just a beautiful shot. You talk about one that does 7 does pass the 8, so no real issues.
Yeah, he had those couple of quarterfinals year before last, but didn't really build last 32 stage once in one of these matchroom events in 2024, and didn't go any further. That was at the US Open. SVB actually ended his run there, but he's already at a quarterfinal. This you might do here in Telford this week, because he's playing really well, and with his second break and run in the last 3. And as you said, JJ, MANAS the sort of player who, if he can get a foothold, can turn this around, and maybe it's going to come here. Well, maybe not.
He feels like the 1 is wired to the upper corner off the red 3. Yeah. Very good experience beyond his years, this young man.
Starts to turn this around here.
Oh no. Overcut the 2 to the pocket suspect. And now he's got to do something. The 4 doesn't pass. So he's coming across for the combination.
Now this would be a very nice. And AJ MANAS finally stops the rot. He'd lost 4 in a row before that. But the combination gets him back to 7th. Big comeback. Was 7-2 down, but he has just taken rack 10. But needed to build on it with the 1 in the side.
I hate to say it, Michael. I don't think he's going to elevate, so he's going to draw to the side cushion, trying to kill the ball bit for the 2. Wants to fall here underneath it. Okay, looks like he's just going to stun. He's going to need a friendly bump. I think he'll get it.
He will.
6-9, 3 rails to the center of the table. That actually lays pretty decent. Like this. Speed controls very ideal, not getting too thin, but also hold.
Well, this is turning in next round because he played Torsten Homan twice during that run to the quarterfinals in Sarajevo back in March. Beat him in winners qualification.
My eyes on Thorsten several times this week, and I really like what I've seen. Always plays steady, I mean, but I just feel like he looks really comfortable playing very. Coming 4 rails for position on the brown.
So MANAS life behind once again. DUONG breaking with an 8-3 lead. He's made the 1.
If you happen to miss the bank, so he's just gonna kind of nip this behind the 3. Remember, on taking a bit of time here, and sometimes that's not always the best.
On the flip side, of course, it will be so hard to take if he loses from the position he was in.
Probably pretty obvious. Now he's got to draw the cue ball, so shouldn't be a problem. An easy missed ball from DUONG, something we didn't expect there.
Knows the importance of this shot. Get this right. And he's just about through.
Watch out for the 9. If it clips the 9 the wrong way, it has not, so he should be okay.
Fairly straightforward, 8 and 9. To claim the last 32 spot here in his home open.
And he's going to get this 8 and 9. And tell you what else he needs to do. He needs to probably get a little rest as much as he can. It may not be long before he's back at it, but another match to play today.
So Imran Majid finally get it through to single elimination. Both now been eliminated following the defeat earlier today for defending champion Robbie Capito.
A huge shot there from DUONG, especially after missing a pretty easy 2-ball, especially for him, and how to maybe want to draw that, make the make a little easier, a little more comfortable. Have to. Perfect.
So as I said, 2 players who are expecting a close one. Not looking so likely now.
Yeah, really, I mean, besides the break shot, which has cost MANAS 2 scratch. Bearing mistake, it's just been exceptional pull by the Vietnamese star.
And that is now. I have to say, this is about as well as we've seen him play. He's been out on the main table.
Yeah, and there hasn't been, he's escaped. Now, there's only been a couple of those. It hasn't been some type of continuous luck. It's been awesome play to get to this 9-3 score. And in return, this is what age
for him here. DUONG HOANG has just basically controlled the match.
Yeah, we've had a few scores like this today. So maybe a hair of fortune at the right time. Okay, got it down.
Remaining last 64 match has just been completed. Max Lechner winning that hill finish against Wang Hung Sang. Lechner, another player who has yet to win one of these. That's no surprise to see the name DUONG HOANG 23, the European Open already this year. But perhaps the way he's playing here,
finally gave one up. Didn't expect it there, but still got a chance.
just as we were beginning to pen the last rights for this match, MANAS looks as though he's going to extend it here. DUONG has done very little wrong in this match. He did something wrong there though, and he's paid the price for it. So weak. AJ MANAS is battling to stay in it.
Pushing out to some type of rail first shot with the draw stroke. Hard to get enough speed on the one a lot of times. Not doing real well unless he catches the point. Yeah, just a little light.
Couldn't quite get the job done then. Still some way off that happening for DUONG HOANG this week, but if he can continue to play like this, who's to say it won't be his time.
Alright, just one more task really here on the 4. 2 rails for the 5. Got enough speed. It's got to go a little bit. Yes, it is. Right-hander.
But very in control of his game. Yes, there was that lapse in the previous rack, but it was very much at odds with what we've seen from him throughout the day. But hold on, what's he done here?
He's going to draw the cue ball. This is short, so AJ's still got life.
For the second rack in a row, yeah,
it's going to hold up. So DUONG's going to get a pretty easy shot at the 8 to finish this match.
Well, as I said, I think we expected a close one here, and it looked as though we were going to get it when MANAS was only one behind at 3-2. Overall, been excellent. Friday.